let's see, Bhuteshwar, Nandeshwar, Kameshwar. Kameshwar, he's protecting Braj from the west side. And that's the story about Lord Shiva. You know the story, that after Parvati gave up her body in the Daksha Yajna, then Lord Shiva, he became rather, you can say, he was unhappy to lose his wife. So he went to the Himalayas, to Kailash, and he was doing intense austerities. Meanwhile, the demigods got themselves embroiled in another war with the demons, and they were losing horribly. So they thought, what to do? Well, if we can get Lord Shiva united again with his wife, because Sati, his wife, his name was Sati, or Durga, after she gave up her body in the Daksha Yajna, because Lord Shiva was insulted by her father, Daksha, then she took birth as a daughter of the Himalayan mountains. So her name was Parvati. Parvat means mountain. So, very bold and strong and outspoken type, Parvati. So it's like mountains are they stick out, right? Mountains stick out in the crowd. So Prabhupada gave very appropriate names for all of his disciples. The demigods, they said, well, Lord Shiva is so powerful. If we can get a son from Lord Shiva, then we can defeat the demons. So then they had, of course, Lord Shiva by himself. So then Parvati was taken from the Himalayan king, and she was taken to meet again her lost husband, you could say, Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva was locked in meditation, and he wasn't. There's no way that, and even his wife came to worship him, and he was naked. So she came and she worshipped his genital with flowers, just like we do Shiva Linga, we do puja. This is the genital of Lord Shiva. She offered flowers and a puja, and this Lord Shiva is considered the ideal example of dhira, of a sober person, undisturbed person. I mean, most material people, if you just touch someone's nose or something, they get agitated. In Kali Yuga, if a man touches a woman's nose or a woman touches a man's nose, he gets completely disturbed. Isn't it? Or just to see each other, what to speak of, you don't touch. But Lord Shiva, he's there, he's just meditating. Who's he meditating on? Sankarshan, Lord Ram. So this shows the power of higher taste, pram drisva nivartate. Vishayab nivartante niharasya dehana rasavarjam rasopyasya pram drisva nivartate. It's a matter of ras. If one is relishing the internal ras of bhakti, then the jada ras, or the taste of this material world, will have no attraction. Even to such an extent as that, Lord Shiva was locked in his bhakti samadhi on the lotus feet of Ishtadev, Sankarshan. So even when his wife, Parvati, came and worshipped his genitals and touched them, he was not disturbed. So what had happened at that time, because when lusty exchanges are gone between man and woman, it says that the personification of lust is Kandarpa. Kandarpa, or Panchasharai. Panchasharai means 5 arrows. Lord Kandarpa, or what we say Cupid, the god of love, has 5 arrows, or god of lust. So he shoots these 5 arrows into the heart of the man and woman. So Lord Shiva's in meditation. So as soon as Parvati was worshipping him like that, then this personification of lust, he shot his arrows, boom, into the heart of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, he was meditating, and he was disturbed somewhat, a little bit. He felt his meditation broke, and he felt it. What is this? This Kandarpa? And he saw Kandarpa, and he glanced at him with his Trinatra, with his third eye, because he was enlightened. So with his third eye, he glanced at Kandarpa, at Cupid. What happened to Cupid? He became Ananga. Ananga means an-anga. Anga means arm, leg, body. And ananga means without. So he lost his body. But then he prayed to Lord Shiva, and, please, that's not a good idea, because I have a lot of work to do here in this material world, and I can't shoot my arrows if I don't have an arm and a hand and a body. So, and he said, okay, look, you can still act, but without a body. You can act on people. You can make people get lusty and keep the material world going. This goes on by lust. But you won't have a body. You'll have no physical body. So he's called Ananga. It's one of his names, Kandarpa, Panchasharai, Ananga. Different names for Lord Shiva, the god of lust. So, Lord Shiva, he got the name Kameshwara. Kamadev, that's another name for Lord Cupid. Cupid is Kamadev, the Lord of lust. So he's Kameshwar, he's the controller, the subduer of lust. So he got that name. Sometimes it's said that pastime took place in that forest. He was meditating in that forest of Kamyavan. At any rate, there is a linga there, a Shiva linga there, Kameshwar. And that's a very famous linga, and the devotees go there and they pray to Lord Shiva, please Kameshwar. So now we should envision, okay, now we're in Kamyavan. We've gone to Kamyavan. It's a long journey. We've gone there and we're taking darshan of Kameshwar, and we're seeing this Shiva linga. It was installed 5,000 years ago by Vajranath, but the pastime is eternal, Lila of Lord Shiva. And we have also a problem with lust, isn't it? Lust is our old friend, our old enemy, let's say. More like it's a friendly enemy. It's always a friend because it's always with us, but it's an enemy because it causes so much trouble in the mind and heart, so much burning sensation. So we're at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva in his merciful form, Kameshwar. So we can do our parikrama and offer some flowers and some puja, and we can pray to Kameshwar. Oh Kameshwar, please help us control our lust and engage our passionate energy in the loving service of Guru and Gauranga and Radha and Krishna. And may we once and for all get free from the victimization of this great enemy of devotion known as lust. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajaguna samudbhavaha. Kama esha, krodha esha, rajaguna samudbhavaha. That kama and crowd means lust and anger. They're born by the contact with mode of passion. So when one is, living in a mode of ignorance and passion, then they're subjected to the influence of lust and greed. Lust and anger, Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajaguna Samudva. Krodha means anger. Anger means unfulfilled lust. So anger, lust, when it's not fulfilled, it transmutates, or it changes into anger. And anger causes inability to focus. When there's anger in the mind, although it's not anger doesn't just mean you smash the wall or something with your hand. When anger is residing in the mind, it does not allow the mind to peacefully rest on the lotus feet of the holy name. And when anger is residing in the mind, it does not allow the mind to study Shastra or hear Harikatha, because the mind is disturbed by this presence of this enemy known as anger. So anger is a very subtle contamination, and it's due to lust. When we allow ourselves to be victimized by lust, an intense attachment or attraction to objects of the material world, and then we don't obtain those objects or fulfill our desires, then it creates a reaction of anger. So Kameshwar Mahadev, he is also very powerful and very kind to the devotees, so we can pray to him to please, this lust is keeping me from Krishna life after life. Because generally when we hear descriptions of Lord Shiva, we hear, which we've spoken about so many other years, so we're trying to give some little different angle this year, that he is the worshipper of Sankarshan, and Sankarshan controls the false ego. It's like we listened to the class you gave us that little bit. It's such a nice class, but all of a sudden it was like, Aniyor. I mean, the kirtan was really good. I mean, the kirtan satisfied. Otherwise, I thought I was going to be devastated because and then the kirtan came on, automatic reverse, and then I felt some relief by the kirtan. So, but that was some of the points that Maharaj was making on that tape about he's the Lord of false ego, and we have a big problem with false ego. So that's understood. But we can see that these particular forms of the Lord, they're showing us different principles, these forms of Lord Shiva. We discussed Nandishvara is showing the whole way that Lord Shiva took the form of Nandishvara shows us the principle of humility. We discussed how we should be very humble and desire any kind of service position in the Holy Dham. Then Kameshwar Mahadev, he shows that this is the real thing. Because what false ego means is I'm the enjoyer. False ego means I'm the body, I'm the enjoyer, I'm the controller, I'm the master. And real ego, or pure ego, which is the result of perfected sadhana, is that dasosmi, I'm Krishna's servant. Krishna Jivera Surupaya, I'm Krishna's eternal servant. So Lord Shiva, he understands that principle perfectly, and he embodies that. He embodies the principle of service, and he's rendering so many different services as the protector of the holy Dham, as the remover of lust. So for thousands and thousands of years, Gaudiya Vaishnavas and Bhaktas have been going to these different forms of Shiva and praying for their benedictions and for their different mercies.